Okay, hello everyone. My name is Manuel Axel Strain. Most people call me Manny, and my grandpa gave me the name kʷθəθ, which is from kʷthəthk. My father is a member of Musqueam First Nation, and my mother is from the kʷthəthk nations. My grandparents on my mom's side are from a place called Chuchua, which is part of Simp First Nation, and my grandma is from a place called Nkamapalux, which is the head of the Okanagan Lake, and the Sukarakwin, which is the northern Okanagan. And I'm here at Richmond Art Gallery. I'm very happy to be here and be talking to you all, wherever you are. And I'm a visual artist primarily and a cultural worker. I work with all mediums, painting, drawing, video, different installations, sculpture, and performance, and interacting with the land as well as a land-based practice at times. This is my show at Richmond Art Gallery. Remember your teachings. It's said in the downriver dialect of Hunkaminam, which I'm not fluent in. I only know a tiny little bit that's been shared with me over the years. And yeah, that's the title of the show. Good luck trying to pronounce it. So the exhibition here at Richmond Art Gallery is a mix of new and old visual cultures. So I think a lot about the visual cultures of the kʷthəthk people, more of the pictographs, and then some more of the coastal style, and then my own interpretation and mix, I guess, with a contemporary spin. But I look at a lot of pictographs, petroglyphs, archival carvings of our old objects, and then family photos, and my own style added to the mix too. So it's a mix of old, new, and present work. So the creative process when I make work is really informed by the land. So I'll spend a lot of time in nature with water, in the mountains, or with trees. And then I'll also have conversations with different people, elders, community members, knowledge keepers, and family members to inform the work done in dialogue. I'll also look at old photos and think of different memories or moments that have been significant to me. There also is kind of a very personal experience that happens too when I make the work, thinking of my own personal experiences, in addition to new technologies being used as part of the creative process. So I look at a lot of chemicals that are in different plants or the landscape. So I'll think about the place that the work is in or where it's around me, and I'll try to find different chemical components that are interesting and make work based off that, using new technologies, and even looking into using like artificial intelligence to inform some of the work as well by looking at these different chemical compounds. So again, it's like a mix of old ways of spending time in the forest and nature, and then using new technology as part of the creative process, in addition to my own dialectical process, which is a back and forth of both. So I'd say this work behind me has been the key feature of the exhibition, in addition to the large photo mural, which is on the right-hand side if you're walking into the gallery. And that's the new large work that we installed here at Richmond Art Gallery. It's a mini longhouse, and the exhibition is really focused on the ideas and concepts that are with the longhouse. And so you go inside, and there's a video that's projected onto the floor. And that's because in our longhouses, the fire is actually right on the floor. So a lot of the attention is to the floor. And in addition, I used the colors, or, really red is a really important color for, I would say, coastal interior Salish. The red ochre color is very significant. I also wanted to show like a sunset, because the sunset is really important to us, as it's like a moment of transformation from the day to night, and transformation is very highly regarded and valued as a concept to the coast and interior Salish people. In addition, the purple's been really significant to me over the past years because the musqueam flower, which is now extinct, but through oral tradition we know it was purple. So that's why I really wanted to showcase the purple really in the sunset to sort of signify that. But yeah, this is the big main work here. So another thing I was thinking about while making this work is the longhouse sort of standing against a structure that can be reminding people of the colonial and capitalist nature of things. And it's this beautiful structure that is a metaphor for, I guess, the resiliency of Coast Salish and other Salish groups. And with that comes the ideas of medicine that are so embodied within our longhouses because they are spiritually charged places. And with that concept of these spiritually charged medicines, we can juxtapose different ideas of medicine that are impacting Indigenous people or all people. And a prime example of that would be different drugs that we're experiencing. So there's these small scale works within the exhibition that are, I was looking at microscopic images of different drugs under a microscope and making pictographic images based on those microscopic images. And then I would overlay that with a forest fire. And why this is significant, because the destruction of our ecosystems is going to be mirrored in how humans are treated and relating to each other. And with that, it's not surprising that with the destruction of our ecosystems and the rampant escalation of forest fires and other climate catastrophes, we're having human health crises as well, such as the toxic drug supply crisis we're in right now. And then so I was thinking about that. I was also thinking about cancer. So there's, under a microscope, if you look at yew trees, they have a chemical component that's called paclitaxel, and paclitaxel is used within chemotherapy treatments. And then I also was looking at the different mycelium networks that trees use to communicate to each other. So there's work called the micromedicine, and I was looking at the different biological and chemical signatures that this mycelium network uses between plants in a forest to communicate to each other and making pictographic images out of that. So I'm looking at all these different things to sort of tie everything together. Yeah, so I focused a lot on family or relatives in the work and in my broader artistic work as well, because after decades of the colonial governments and society trying to eradicate the Indigenous family system, it's important to me to highlight the resiliency, strength, and endurance of our family system and network. And on top of that, when we juxtapose that with all the different plants, the different chemical components that we're seeing, the land, I'm trying to get people to make the connection that the land is our relative, because our creation stories often highlight that these plants or animals were once, they're just people like us. So they say, I've been taught by my Auntie Mary that when humans were created, we descended from the sky, and this is the Coast Salish story, but we descended from the sky and the clouds, and then xⵡəls, the transformer, turned different people into animals, rocks, and plants. So they are our family. They come from the same as us. And I think science also points to this too when we think about the evolution of life, where we have you know, a single cell that was the first sign of life. On top of that, we all go back to that. I kind of, as a joke, say that our single-celled ancestor highlights the fact that all life on Earth is connected, and in a weird way, it's all human. So I guess what I want people to take away is the concept of the longhouse not being just an architectural structure, but a way that we can imagine as humans we relate and connect to each other culturally and philosophically and spiritually, which is that these were and still are large, multi-generational family gathering spaces that we still use, and everyone has a place within these structures. Everyone has a role. There's no concept of homelessness with these structures. We really try to embrace everyone having a part of the larger collective. They're not based in a nuclear family system. They are generations and large groups of family coming together and operating as a system collectively. And I'll share this concept of natsamatashkwalagunst. So we are one heart and one mind. And I think that really embodies this idea of us all coming together. And what I've been really trying to encourage people is to not only think of the concept of us being one heart and one mind as humans, but to go beyond that to the more than humans world. And the natsamatashkwalagunst ideology and spirit really is getting us to embrace everything working together. And I think in our society today, we need to remember that more than ever, because there's so much destruction in our world right now, in our ecosystem. So just the concept of natsamatashkwalagunst, trying to find a way to work with everything and everyone in all life together. And so that's kind of the main message I want people to take away from the show.